That morning, my phone buzzed with a message that ended 15 years of family peace. I'm quitting my job. You'll take care of us while I figure things out. No greeting. No question. Just expectation, like my paycheck was family property. I stared at that one line, toothbrush in hand, and for the first time in my life I didn't feel guilt. I felt done. I didn't know it yet. But that text wasn't just a demand. It was my permission slip to start living my own life. Because when I finally replied with 4 words, "That's not on me," everything changed. The responsible one. I've always been the stable one. Emma Pierce, 32, operations manager, steady job, predictable life. The kind of person who makes Excel sheets for vacation packing. To outsiders, our family looked perfect. Sunday dinners, candles flickering, football murmuring from the living room, a roast on the table, laughter echoing off framed photos of happy family trips that quietly lived on my credit card. But under all that warmth, there was math, invisible equations that always ended with me paying the balance. Jenna, my younger sister, was the dreamer, the creative soul who somehow never had to pay for her creativity. Every time her latest business failed, Mom would look at me over the mashed potatoes and say, "You know your sister's spirit just needs support right now." Translation? "Emma, grab your wallet." Dad would grunt approval from behind his beer. Jenna would smile sweetly, syrup thick, and I'd hand over my card, pretending the numbers didn't sting. Phone plans, car insurance, even her dog's vet bills, all tied to me. I didn't mind at first. It made me feel needed, like I mattered. But the truth? Being needed had become my prison, the guilt economy. My mother had a saying, "Family evens out in the end," but even in our house meant I bled more, so everyone else could feel balanced. When Jenna flopped, I fixed it. When Dad retired early, I quietly covered the utilities. When Mom wanted to remodel the kitchen, I signed the checks for family harmony. Each time I told myself, this is temporary. Jenna will find her footing. Mom will realize how unfair this is. Dad will thank me. They never did. Even my boyfriend, Mike, patient, kind, quietly observant, started to see the cracks. "You know they don't love you because you fix everything, right?" he said one night, voice gentle but sharp. "They love you because it's convenient." I laughed it off, but that sentence sat in my chest like a stone. The breaking point, it all came to a head at dinner one night. Jenna had just quit another job, this one, a marketing role that lasted 2 months. She stabbed her mashed potatoes like a martyr. "It was toxic," she declared. "I'm focusing on my mental health." Mom's eyes filled with tears. "That's so brave, sweetheart." Dad nodded solemnly. "Faith, that's what matters. Faith." I thought, doesn't pay rent. When I took a single sick day last year, Mom said I was overreacting, but Jenna could burn her career to the ground and be called courageous. After dinner, Mom cornered me in the kitchen, whispering like she was announcing a national crisis. "Honey, Jenna just needs a little runway." You understand. I did understand. That runway was paved with my paychecks. That night, I sat in the dark, scrolling through my phone notes, family bills. Phone plan, insurance, utilities, dog vet, apartment deposit. Each entry wasn't just money. It was proof of how much I'd sacrificed to keep their peace. And I realized something. Peace shouldn't cost this much. The text 2 weeks later it came, the message that snapped everything in half. "I'm quitting my job. You'll take care of us while I figure things out." No greeting. No punctuation. Just entitlement disguised as family. For a long moment, I just stared at the screen. In the past, I would have sent money. No hesitation. That was my role. Fixer, funder, fool. But that morning, something in me shifted. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was Mike's words echoing in my head. "You've been paying for permission to be loved." I wiped my hands, opened my phone, and typed 4 words that tasted like freedom. "That's not on me." I hit send. For a second I thought I might throw up. But then, silence. No thunder. No screaming. Just silence. The kind that felt almost holy. The contractee walked into the living room. On my laptop was an open email from Dublin. A job offer I'd been too scared to accept. A transfer with housing included. Start date Monday. For months, I'd made excuses. Mom will panic. Jenna will need help. Dad will guilt-trip me. But now, the excuses felt small compared to the suffocation. I signed the contract. A small notification popped up. Document completed. That was it. No applause, no tears. Just one line of text, and the faint sound of my own heartbeat. 10 minutes later, Mom texted, "If you won't help your sister, don't come to Thanksgiving." I stared at it until the screen dimmed. Before, that kind of message would have destroyed me. Not because of the turkey or the talk, but because exclusion was their weapon. But now, I actually laughed. "That's supposed to scare me," I whispered. "It feels like freedom, the unraveling." That night, I sat at my desk and opened my bank app. For the first time in years, I wasn't checking what I owed. I was cutting ties. One by one, I scrolled through the payments. Jenna's car insurance, canceled. Family phone plan, removed. Utilities, deactivated. Each click felt like a breath I hadn't taken in years. My phone buzzed again. Aunt Rose's voicemail. "Sweetheart, family gives and receives. Maybe you can give a little more this season. God will bless you back tenfold." "Delete," Mike called that night. "You did it, didn't you?" "I think so," I said quietly. "I finally said no." He paused. "You didn't say no, Emma. You said yes to yourself." The war begins by morning. My phone looked like a battlefield. Mom, Dad, Jenna. A flurry of missed calls, messages, guilt bombs. Mom, family meeting tonight. Dad, be here by 7. Jenna, don't make this harder than it already is. I typed back, I won't be there. Instantly, the bubbles appeared. Mom, you will. Jenna, you're unbelievable. Dad, watch your tone. I silenced the chat, turned my phone face down, and exhaled. The quiet wasn't comfortable yet, but it was mine. At 6:52 p.m., the doorbell rang. I peeked through the peephole. Dad, arms crossed, jaw tight. Open the door, Emma. No, don't play games. I'm not. He muttered something about disrespect and walked away. I locked the deadbolt twice, leaned against the door, and let the weight slide off me. They weren't coming to talk. They were coming to win. And for the first time, I didn't care about winning. I cared about peace. The family call the next day, Mom tried again, this time with sugar. A trembling voicemail. Sweetheart, Jenna's trying her best. Just this once, please support her. Think about what family means. I deleted it halfway through. That evening, my phone lit up with a FaceTime call. Mom, Dad, and Jenna. Part of me wanted to decline. The other part wanted to finally stop pretending. I answered. Mom, with her perfect kitchen background, smiled too sweetly. Can we please talk like adults? I thought that's what I've been doing, I said. Jenna jumped in, eyes red but makeup flawless. You embarrassed us. You made me look like a beggar. I didn't make you anything, I said evenly. You sent a demand and I declined. Her lip quivered. You don't believe in me? Belief isn't a bank loan, Jenna. Caleb, her boyfriend, lounging behind her, snorted. She's so uptight. No wonder she's single half the year. I looked right at him. Caleb, do you even hear yourself? He smirked. Just a joke, Mom's voice snapped. Enough. Your sister's business could change her life. She just needs someone responsible on paper. Dad leaned in. It's not even risky. Just a small loan. 50 tops. You'll co-sign. That's all. I blinked. That's all? They didn't even realize how insane it sounded. Asking me to co-sign a $150,000 loan for someone who just quit her job. Mom's tone hardened. Don't be dramatic. We raised you better than this. I felt something in me finally break, but not in pain. In clarity, you didn't raise me to say yes, I said softly. You raised me to survive saying no, Mom froze. Dad's face flushed. Jenna started crying. Mom's voice dropped. So that's it. You're walking away from your family? I'm walking away from being your financial plan. Emma, you'll regret this. Maybe, I said, but I'll regret it on my own dime. Then I ended the call. The messages flooded in immediately. Paragraphs, guilt, threats, emojis. One stood out from Jenna. You destroyed this family. No, I thought. I just stopped letting you destroy me. I turned off my phone, opened my exit plan, and started checking boxes. Remove from phone plan, unlink insurance, and cancel utilities, close shared accounts. By midnight, I had 43 missed calls. None from Mike. He knew better. When he finally called, his voice was calm. You sound lighter. I think I'm just done. Then don't stop now, he said. Do something about it. Not for revenge, for peace. And that's when I decided I wasn't just saying no, I was leaving. When the plane engines roared to life, I felt my chest expand in a way it hadn't in 15 years. I was leaving, finally, not running, not hiding, but stepping into a life that belonged to me. Every bill I'd paid, every favor I'd made, every invisible ledger of family expectations. All of it stayed behind. Dublin wasn't just a city. It was a promise, a new start, and as the clouds whisked past the window, I realized something. Sometimes the quietest acts of defiance hurt the loudest. The city was colder than I imagined. Gray skies draped over cobblestone streets, and the damp air smelled like rain-soaked freedom. My company apartment was small. 1 bedroom, white walls, a view of the canal. But every inch of it belonged to me. No shared keys. No borrowed possessions. No dangling expectations. That first morning, I woke to sunlight bouncing off the water. I made coffee for one, listening to the kettle whistle, an ordinary sound that suddenly felt extraordinary. I scrolled through my phone and hesitated, almost expecting a guilt-laden message. But there was nothing. The silence was sharp, clean, and almost holy. For the first time, I realized how loud my family had been. Not in words, but in obligation. Settling into freedom. The first week passed slowly, but purposefully. I walked to work through streets that had no memory of me. I tasted coffee that wasn't shared or borrowed. I cooked meals that were mine to eat. I spoke to nobody about debts or deadlines outside my own. Each night, I wrote in a small journal I kept on the kitchen counter. Day 1, did not feel guilty. Day 2, still alive. Day 3 felt lighter. Mike arrived that Friday. His grin made the apartment feel less foreign. You really did it, he said. Yeah, I whispered. And somehow I'm still standing. We lit candles, ate dinner on the couch, and let the rain streak the windows. No buzzing phone. No demands. Just quiet. Peace. The ripples of choice. Even so, old habits tugged at me. I had been the fixer my whole life. Saying no felt unnatural. I checked my phone obsessively, expecting apologies, threats, guilt trips, anything. They never came. Instead, the universe seemed to wait for me to notice something. My life didn't revolve around them anymore. My time, my energy, my money, all belonged to me. At work, I thrived. I got promoted early. I led my first major project. I made friends who didn't need rescuing. Each day was a subtle reminder that the life I thought was impossible had existed all along. The revenge wasn't fireworks. It was a mirror. Every bill I'd canceled, every account I'd closed, every shared responsibility I'd severed. They didn't see me starving, crying, begging. They saw absence, no calls, no messages, no financial safety net, just silence. And in that silence, I found power. Mom tried first with sugar. Sweetheart, think about family. Support your sister just once. I deleted the voicemail. Aunt Rose sent chain messages about forgiveness. Deleted. Jenna posted cryptic Instagram stories. Ignored. My family had trained me for 15 years to respond, to care, to save, to fix. And for the first time, I didn't. That was the revenge. Not shame, not confrontation, not guilt. Just freedom in motion, adapting to life without guilt days blurred into weeks. Dublin grew familiar. I discovered a tiny cafe with the best scones I'd ever eaten. I ran along the canal in the early morning light. I laughed without waiting for anyone to approve. Every night, I returned to my apartment and felt my walls embrace me. They were mine. No borrowed space, no obligation. I even allowed myself joy. Small things. A cup of tea at sunrise. A book read from cover to cover. the smell of rain on cobblestones, I began to understand. Peace doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with choices. The family response, it took a month before any acknowledgement reached me. A voicemail from Mom, softer this time. "We're fine, sweetheart. Jenna found part-time work. Your dad says hi." I didn't call back. I smiled anyway. For the first time, I realized distance could teach lessons love never did. Distance was kinder than guilt, firmer than manipulation. Sometimes in the evenings, I would stand by the window, watching the canal lights ripple across the water. The old Emma would have felt guilty for feeling okay. The new Emma just whispered, "I earned this." I started tracking every penny in my own way, not for anyone else, not to maintain peace, just for me. Savings grew, dreams resurfaced, opportunities arrived. I went from surviving to thriving, not with anyone's help, not with anyone's permission, and certainly not as anyone's safety net. The text that had destroyed 15 years of false peace? It had been the key. "I'm quitting my job. You'll take care of us while I figure things out." In the past, I would have rushed to patch the cracks. Now I let them exist, and in letting go, I finally found everything I had been looking for. Weeks turned into months. Dublin became home. My career blossomed. My relationships were real, mutual, supportive, loving. Mike, still patient, still steady, became my partner in this new life. A witness, not a savior. Every now and then, I would check my old notes. Bills, debts, utilities, all paid, closed, cleared. The old Emma would have felt guilty. The new Emma smiled at the memory. She had learned that real love doesn't drain you, it steadies you. Real family doesn't demand your life as collateral. And if the old family ever learned the price of their expectations, that was on them. I had reclaimed mine. Final thought. High-impact ending. The first text I received that fateful morning, the one that ended 15 years of family peace, had felt like a trap. "You'll take care of us while I figure things out." Now I knew the truth. No one can demand your life. No one can steal your peace. The real victory isn't in revenge or anger. It's in standing tall, stepping away, and finally, quietly, fully, living your own life. I looked out over the Dublin skyline, sipping my coffee in the morning light. Peace wasn't loud. Peace was quiet. Peace was mine. And for the first time in 15 years, I had no one to answer to but myself.